gave a lot of money away to our agencies, and we're really pleased about that. You know, we have a lot of low-income neighbors in the market, and this is why we do this, and we appreciate their support and our opportunity to keep the market vibrant and full of life, and just manage all of the needs within our agencies. So thank you so much for that.
I'm Lillian Hochstein. I'm the Executive Director of the Pike Place Market Foundation. I have survived a year, so thank you all. It has been my pleasure to get to know you, and I want to continue that. So if you haven't met me, after all the presentations, please certainly say hello. It has really been a joy to be back in the market. And we did have a wonderful conversation tonight, and we're going to get right to it. So we have various board members coming up to actually tell you a little bit about the process that we went through to make that decision, and then to award the check. So please feel free to keep eating, drinking, getting what you need. But I would like to introduce Peter Janello, who's going to kick us off with the clinic.
But as Peter comes up, I did see a note here that I think is critical. Peter is on probation. No. No, I missed a note here that we're proud to note that after today's check distribution, we will have given $19 million to the market. And that should bail you out of any situation.
Mark, do you want to join us as well?
I got the pleasure of presenting the check tonight to Mark. On behalf of the Pike Place Market Medical Clinic. I'm going to tell you a little bit about two of the people that came to see us when the clinic made its presentation for the request that they wanted. One of them is named Frank. And first I want to comment on the courage that these people showed to go into a room of strangers and talk about these very personal and private medical things. We really appreciate that, because that helps us as a board understand what they get from Mark and the clinic. Frank really credits the clinic with keeping him alive. He's been a patient of theirs for 25 years, since he moved into the market. He suffers from a number of conditions: severe asthma, heart problems, psychological conditions. And he said he's found the best doctor he's ever had at the clinic, and he's a really good success story of the kind of relationship they develop with their patients and the care they give them. Curtis was another fellow we got to meet. He, 2 years ago, was homeless, barely able to walk. He had a very severe spinal injury. But with the treatment he got at the clinic and their outreach nurses, he now both has housing and is walking without pain. And he said he couldn't imagine what his life would be like without the people at the clinic. And so, you know, there are many, many, many stories like that, and we really appreciate the work that Mark and everybody that he works with has done there. The foundation through the clinic is dedicated to providing health care for all of our neighbors, and it's independent of their income or their insurance. And the grant we're going to provide today will cover the unfunded portion of health care costs for about 13,250 visits by their low-income and uninsured patients this coming year. And that's half of all of their visits for this upcoming year. And we also hope that these funds will help the clinic expand their homeless outreach program. So, without further ado, somebody hands me a check. I'm very pleased to give to you, Mark. Woo!
This is a multiple person job here to hold this group. Great.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. You know, I do want to say, Peter, that I don't do anything for those patients, but we have some folks here who do. And you know, I just want to give a little shout out here to Leanne and Shannon. Raise your hands here and take a so these two women have been the bedrock of our care program for our diabetic patients. They do other things, but this is one of the things that they really hold very close to their heart. They know every single one of our diabetic patients, and we have about, what, 350? 353 diabetic patients at the clinic. They know every single one, and they know exactly what that patient is working on to improve their health. And if they're not working on something, you can probably count on one of the two of them to be after that person. So just a couple of really marvelous staff members, and there's a whole clinic full of them. Really, again, thank you from the bottom of our heart. Lillian, your staff does such a magnificent job, and Peter and other members of the board, thank you so much for the work that you've done this past year and over the many years here in really making what we do possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. To introduce to you Eddie Kirschenbaum, who is going to present from the board about the Senior Center. And Jeannie, if you could join us as well. Jeannie Falls.
Hello. Hello.
Thanks again, everyone, for being here. We got to hear Jeannie present to the board last month. I'd like to share one of the stories that we heard, and I think it's pretty impactful, and it's why we came to the decision we did. I'd like to share Pedro's story with you about finding community, support, and housing with the help of the Pike Market Senior Center. Pedro lost his job during the recession and as a result became homeless in Seattle. With the help of the Senior Center's Spanish-speaking case manager, who we had the opportunity to meet as well, Pedro learned about the food bank, applied for Social Security benefits, and eventually moved back into housing. He's extremely grateful for the help and support he continues to receive at the Senior Center. The Senior Center has experienced unprecedented growth in the last 2 years. Specifically, they've seen a 50% increase in the need for their meals program, and in 2013, they expect that to grow another 20 to 25%. They have increased staff, but have exhausted city funding for the meals program. The Senior Center staff struggles to meet the demand, especially the long work required to find housing for homeless seniors, which, as we also learned, often takes many years. The Market Foundation's committed to funding more than 30% of the center's programs, including breakfast, lunch, wellness activities, employment services, and case management. So, it is my honor to award the Pike Market Senior Center with a grant of $183,000.
Yes, I would like to say thank you very much. This means the world to us, and we can continue to do the work that we've been doing, which, as you heard from Eddie, that we the need has been growing exponentially over the last 2 years, and because of your support, and particularly because it's not, what's it called when you have to spend it on one thing? It's not restricted, thank God. We can move it around and spend it on what we really need. And I just want to talk about one other thing that's happened in the last couple years, or the last year, I want to say, which is that sometimes you don't know that you don't have something until you actually have it. And I feel now, over the last year, so supported by the Market Foundation and the PDA in a way that I don't feel like a tenant anymore at the market. We feel like part of the market, part of the fabric of the market, and it's so positive. And I believe it has to do with the leadership at the Market Foundation and the PDA. So thank you for all your wonderful support.
Thank you, Jeannie. Congratulations, Senior Center. And now Nicole Barr will present for the preschool. Eileen? Should I come up? Yes, please. Oh. Sorry. Forgot that part.
You should be center stage. Okay. So, thank you everybody for being here tonight. At a recent board meeting, Eileen had also shared some of these great stories people as they're helping. Two specifically, one is with this woman named Autumn who had come to Seattle, had 2 kids, was trying to find work, and ended up being at the market working and heard about the preschool and was able to get her kids in to the preschool there, and just what a huge weight and a relief it was off for her to be able to put her kids in there and know they were safe. Another one was with Karen, who's the mother of 3 kids, and she had put 2 kids through paying a regular rate, and then had found out that there's a huge amount of turmoil and just financial difficulties, and was able to put her 3rd child through there, given the sliding scale, and just that there was a huge benefit for her as well. So last year, the preschool experienced a lot of growth and change, and I'm very happy to report that they successfully moved to their new space, designed for kids, transitioned to the new executive director. I'm glad to have you here. And hired their first part-time family services coordinator, all while providing 143,000 hours of high-quality care and early learning education for 95 kids. In the year ahead, the preschool plans to open up a baby room, expand the hours of the family services coordinator full-time, and hire a full-time on-site substitute teacher. So the Market Foundation is proud to award you with this grant of $175,000.
I'm so moved I can barely speak, so that doesn't happen very often. But it's this level of commitment and generosity is mind-blowing, and I think you all know that we put into what we do without the support of the Market Foundation and PDA as well. And we're just grateful for the opportunity that we have to work in partnership with families and to see kids like growing into the healthy, beautiful people that they are meant to be. And thank you. That's all you.
He's not here. Okay. All right. You have to see me again.
So many of you know the food bank has been expanding its facility, offering a place where people can wait, which is not waiting in the parking lot, a slightly more dignified place for people to wait, which is really exciting. But also there's been a continuing uptick for year over year in demand. And so we would like to support that with a donation of $65,000.
Thank you.
Which will cover 12,160 visits, if my math is right. But it's also 38% of what the food bank needs on an ongoing basis, and we just feel very proud to be able to contribute to all the work that's done here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Great things are happening at the food bank right now. The expansion, we're going to have this new huge distribution room and a place for people to wait, which will, one, make us so much more efficient. You can't believe how it is now unless you've been one of the people that stand in line for the food bank thinking it's the elevator line. Then you wind your way. But I mean, we only have we have an entrance exit. People can't get in and out very quickly. We can only let 5 or 6 people in at a time. People are waiting. We're going to be, I think we're going to be speedy now. We're going to be efficient. And we have a new person at the helm, Michael Montgomery, who's been spearheading our meals program, is now also overseeing the food bank. And he's done a fabulous job with the meals program, and we're really excited about what it'll do with the food bank. So thank you. We're very, very excited.
Patterson is going to join us to talk about the Heritage House. And Marika, would you be willing to come on out? So in the dark.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Pat Patterson. I'm a member. I'm a very proud member of the foundation board, and I'm here tonight to present the check to the Heritage House. Marika came to our board meeting in January, and it honestly, for me, it was the very first opportunity I had to learn more about Heritage House and what it does, and really the tremendous work that it does for some of the most frail seniors that we have living in this area. And as I was reminded of a little bit of a side personal story, but after the meeting, I approached Marika and I said, I want to do something else. Are there other needs? And she just happened to mention that one of their residents was what I will refer to as a good cat daddy, and I am a great cat mommy. And so I was able to and will continue in the future to provide food. And so this is very personal for me. And again, I'm pleased to have gotten a chance to know more about Heritage House. So they provide 62 apartments. It is assisted living. And their request to us is to upgrade one of their rooms to an exercise room for the seniors, and we're all learning how important exercise is, to upgrade some computers for people with special needs, and then also to purchase some wireless call buttons, very similar to ones that you will see on television. And really, ultimately, what this will do is keep our seniors living in Heritage House well and safe and cared for. And I think that really is one of the more important things. And I just wanted to share with all of you who are getting a piece of this pie tonight. We had a very lively and vibrant discussion this evening about how we can assist you and how we want to assist you. And we look to continue to be helpful. Again, I am so proud to be a part of a board that takes their fiduciary responsibility very seriously, but on the other hand recognizes that we are in a position to be able to help people who need our help. So I am very pleased to let you know that we will be presenting a check to you for $15,000, which will help, again, with all of those needs that I talked about.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
I just want to say what everybody else is saying by saying thank you, but this is the first time that Heritage House has actually been able to be a part of Cup of Pie, so thank you for that. I want to piggyback off a little bit about what Jeannie was saying about the change. I've been with Heritage House for about 3 years, and in that 3 years have gotten to know Lillian and also the leadership then over at the PDA. And we continue to identify what the needs of our community is. And we're all here to serve the community, which is so critically important. And when I thought about writing this grant and what the needs are, there is growing needs in our population for unfunded care. It is part of our mission also to take care of our seniors regardless of whether they have the money to pay for it. It is our goal to keep them safe and to care about them and to preserve their dignity. And so part of the reason I brought this to the residents and asked them, you know, what can we do more for you? And what I love and I want to share with you was about their independence. It's about staying healthy, which I know rings a bell at the clinic. It's about being able to have, being able to preserve their independence and sense of purpose. So I just really want to say thank you on behalf of all the residents and the staff of Heritage House of the Market.
I'd like to introduce Dan Moore, who is going to come up with 2 more presentations. And Dana, if you could come up close by, that'd be great too.
Hi everyone, I'm pleased to be here tonight. I think I'm the only board member that gets to present 2 checks, so double dipping here tonight. First, I want to talk about the Market Fresh coupons. These are coupons or vouchers that enable low-income people in our community to access fresh fruits and vegetables. And what I'd call your attention to is, although this is a smaller program, it's been less visible in our foundation history. Think about the power of, we mentioned on the medical facility, and the diabetes programs, and knowing those customers, being able to provide a voucher to ensure that you've done an extra step to set that person up for success, to reinforce their program and eating fresh fruits and vegetables. So the Market Bucks, pleased to present a grant of $25,000 this year.
Dana. Dana is our brand new Vista volunteer. She's working with the PDA in their farm program, and she's working on all these programs that give access to low-income people, access to fresh produce in the market. And so she's doing Market Fresh. She's working on a program you'll hear about in a minute. She's helping with Food Link, all these kinds of things. So get to know her. It's fun, I think.
Do you want to say anything now, or do you want to at the end?
Do you want to wrap it at the end?
Okay, great. So the other program is matching dollars for food stamps, and you know what's exciting about this program is a threefold approach. Market receives reimbursements for the food stamps, these funds, and farmers generate increased sales, and low-income neighbors are able to double their purchasing power. So again, this is a program that's been less visible in our past, but it really reinforces all the great things that we're doing. You know, again, whether we mention the senior center or the medical facilities, really getting access to fresh fruits and vegetables. So this program as well will receive a check of $10,000.
Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I want to piggyback on Marika and say that I know the foundation in the past hasn't traditionally accepted applications from outside organizations, and we are just so thrilled and excited to be able to be a part of the foundation's list of awesome projects that they work on. So thank you so much to all of you and to Lillian for inviting us in. And I also just want to also say Suzanne and also Carrie, the three of us are serving as AmeriCorps volunteers right now, and we just want to say thank you so much for inviting us to be a part of this incredible community. We're just having such a blast and just really, really excited to spend the next year working on things that will hopefully help increase the capacity of the Mark Foundation. We're really excited about that. So, thank you.
I'd like to introduce Jane Johnson, and actually Susan, will you come up and accept this check? We haven't really figured out who's going to accept this one, so you can do it. She's the treasurer of our board, so she can handle money.
I might go and spend it.
It's not really cashable. Okay.
Not with that signature, Susan.
We're completing the job with an award for $2,500, and this is for the Community Safety Net, which assists members of our community who are experiencing difficulties that aren't met in other ways. And this could be market residents, clients of social services. And we've done this a bit in the past under different ways, and now we are making an actual fund for it. And $2,500 in small grant amounts. Sometimes it's $200 to help with a rent, help someone pay their rent that will keep them where they're living, or $100 for something else. So it's small increments that make a world of difference to the person receiving the money. So there you go.
Great. Getting a signal. Yeah. Fabulous. Thank you all so much for receiving our checks, and thank you to the board for doing all that hard work. Debbie's
I'm gonna wind us up. I just want to congratulate all of the incredible services here in the market, and thank you for your tremendous work that you do to keep our community vibrant. Tonight we cared for the homeless, the hungry, the hurting, and of course the kids and the sleepless in Seattle. So I think we did what we came to do and gave away a great amount of money, and that's really, really incredibly. And also, of course, tonight, thank you for Cutters and their sponsorship of this wonderful evening and all this food and wine and this beautiful
right
room.
there. Did she leave?
Oh, did she just leave? Oh, God.
Did Lynette just leave?
Well, I don't know. Our host tonight, Cutters Crab House, thank you to Lynette, Paula, Chef Simon, and the crew for making this event possible this year. Thank you for joining us this evening. And please feel free to continue to mingle, have some wine, and there's pies over there, of course, befitting for Cut the Pie from Daily Dozen in the Market. So,
you know the
pie,
donuts,
take a
now they can pie.